Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sebi Alkaline from the Healthiest podcast in the world, the first ever alkaline podcast in the world. And today I'm here with,
Mister Bane, Brooklyn.
and I met him on one of my blogs I was doing for Victor Bowman. And, he told me an amazing testimony. We're not going to say the whole word because we can't on camera because YouTube will ban us and TikTok will ban us. But this man healed himself from the C word.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was amazing that, I interviewed people that healed themselves from herpes or healed themselves from a lot of different stuff I can't even say on camera, unfortunately. But yeah, man, the first thing I wanted to ask you, what was you like living like before you got the C word? Like, what was you eating? What was you doing?
Okay, so that's a good question. So I was diagnosed with, I could say stage 4
The C word?
lymphoma, the C word. And this is the 6-letter C word that ends with an R as opposed to the 5-letter C word. I'm glad he's calling it the C word because I don't believe in giving power
To the
to the
word.
name of these diseases. And a mentor of mine first suggested that to me, and it really worked. So anyways, the amazing thing about this journey is before 2019, I just felt something different in my body. And after years of, I guess, feeling invincible that you could just like eat anything and do anything and drink and party and whatever. And I wasn't heavy on that, but still, it all takes a toll. Nobody really teaches you about health and nutrition. There is something called health and nutrition in school, but as you get more knowledge about an alkaline or vegan lifestyle, it may be laughable in certain cases to hear those recommendations. But so yeah, I would say that in about 2017, I had started transitioning into veganism, but I would say that I wasn't the best veganist or vegan person because, a lot of that is just another form of junk food, although, you're trying to avoid meat and certain things. There's a lot of processed stuff in it too. So, you live and you learn. There was nobody really guiding me. So over time, I just got better and, checked out different people.
Yeah, a lot of people get mistaken that going vegan, you're going to get healed. I tell a lot of people that I'm an alkaline vegan, like, oh, so you eat like broccoli. I'm like, nah, I don't eat broccoli. They're cowards. I don't eat none of that. And, that's a big misconception. So what led you into like finding about the holistic diet? Like, how did you find about like, the coconut? So what made you even think about that? Like what stumbled you across that?
Yeah. Well, my dad was always into it. Like he's always into herbs and stuff. He's from Grenada, so they call it like bush tea and all types of things. And all of that stuff was just growing in the backyard and around the house and stuff like that. So I always saw him do that, the sea moss and all of that stuff and the sorrel. But like for me, I think that I felt a change in my body, and actually I had been going to the gym and stuff and just trying to transform my physical self. And one day I was just on Instagram and I said, maybe the gym isn't
Enough.
my favorite place all the time. It felt like a chore sometimes to go there, and that's something mentally you have to get over. And as I was scrolling online, I saw some people doing calisthenics in Brooklyn, just like body weight exercises. Ended up working with a trainer, and he was vegan, and he never said, go be vegan. He said, you'll find your way. And that was true. Just by being in that circle and watching people the way they were eating, I just made some simple replacements. For example, I saw him once eating like wild rice in a cast iron bowl. And I was just like, oh man, I was like eating all this white rice from China. I was like, and I'm just
Yo,
like,
they be having plastic, and a lot of people don't know white rice is almost made out of plastic. You would have to check it out. I'm not gonna go in depth with that, but some of it's bad.
So I just said, let me replace that wild rice with the white rice with the wild rice. And just from there, I started growing in that direction of that taste. Around that time, I'd also discovered, Dr. Sebi online. So I'd never known anything about like real fruits versus like, these modified fruits and stuff like that. So I started following his guide as far as fruits and vegetables and seeded, seeded vegetables, seeded fruits. And that helped a lot just on a knowledge level and just made me feel a lot better that I was trying my best to find the best out of the poison out there.
I do believe a lot of healing obviously is a majority of the stuff that we eat.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel it has to do a lot of with mental.
Right.
You know, so you basically, before you healed yourself, you went alkaline, right?
Right. So I was like, I guess you could say vegan, but most of my diet would be considered alkaline because, like, when you're on a budget and stuff, I was just into the mushrooms. Like, I couldn't eat meat, so I was looking for replacements. And at first, you start off with a lot of processed stuff, but eventually, I went in my own direction. I started getting into the mushrooms, like the Bella mushrooms, the oyster mushrooms. I remember looking up, finding different people who were like breading them and frying them and just finding different ways to make them taste like things that we're accustomed to. So, would go to farmers markets here in Brooklyn and get like lobster mushrooms, chicken of the woods, hen of the woods, maitake.
So that was like your main meal, like mushroom.
Mushrooms with like a wire rice, a quinoa, some type of grain, and some like leafy greens.
And what type of fruits were you eating when you healed yourself from the C word?
Always, well, a lot of like apples, seeded oranges, cherries, things like that. Those are my favorites. Seeded grapes, if you find like the Concord grapes, are some of my favorites too.
Yeah, those are good. I like the red ones too.
Right. The Globe grape.
So that was like so give me like basically what was you eating on a day-to-day basis when you healed yourself from the C word? Say all the foods. Like you said mushrooms, like say all the words that you was.
Yeah. So basically a lot of mushrooms, just preparing them. I love bell peppers. And it would be like just this big bowl of just like wild rice or some type of grain, and then, throwing mushrooms. I got pretty good at it. Like with the lion's mane mushrooms, I was making steaks out of them and just flattening them and just finding different ways where like I didn't miss eating meat anymore or chicken and stuff.
What about
like
the
that.
fruits? What are like the biggest fruits the best fruits that you
Fruits, I was juicing a lot too. So just, getting in the ginger juiced, mangoes, definitely a lot of different types of apples and the baby bananas.
What about soursop? Were you on
Soursop? Yes. Soursop is big in Grenada too. I think a lot of that.
A lot of it actually comes from Grenada.
Yeah, when I went over there recently, it was bigger than bigger than like my whole.
Oh man, I gotta go to Grenada. I love soursop. So
yes.
So you basically, when you healed the C word, you was on a holistic, mostly alkaline diet for the most part.
Yeah, so like I said, when I started in like 2017, I was just eating things that were like not meat, so I think this whole ordeal really taught me how to like pay attention to some of the details. Like there's this woman on Instagram who says the front of the box is entertainment and the back is education. So I had gone through life with nobody really guiding me as far as health is concerned, what to eat. And also, just eating like whatever. And then also never really reading ingredients. So
tell them about that. That's actually very important.
Reading ingredients, So like I was just picking it up. What? It says vegan on it, or it's green, or, all these things that they use to like get you to purchase it. And on the back, there was a lot of harmful stuff that, you could just decide, I don't want to eat that today because it has this in it. A lot of canola oil and things and stuff are in these products. So it just made me a little more selective, And
the stuff that you can't pronounce in the back of the boxes, that's the chemicals that's giving you all these diseases.
Yeah.
That's the chemicals that's making you tired, angry,
right,
have anxiety. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that's making you addicted. You're literally a drug addict if you eat the American standard diet, unfortunately, and you're gonna get some type of harmful effect from it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But other than the foods and stuff, I do believe a lot of the stuff that we go through, like stress, the mental stuff, it's very important, almost as equal as the food.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel that mentally, when you found out, you had the C word, you were stressed out, but like, you said to me, I think before we talked that you had to learn how to just live stress-free or...
Right. So, yeah, living in this type of, as you'd say, the matrix, especially here in New York, is, it could be very stressful, dealing with just where you are in life and what you're trying to accomplish. And you could be doing well and still feel a lot of pressure to, just be your best. And, a lot of times we internalize those emotions, you need that release. I get a lot of the release from exercising, from music and things like that. But still, I would say I was pretty hard on myself and probably going through a lot of stress at the time.
I could imagine
Yeah.
if doctors tells you, "Oh, sorry, man, you got the C word."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're probably automatically gonna start stressing.
Yeah.
Cause that's scary, knowing that you have like maybe a couple of years to live, and it won't even be happy years. You'll just be depressed and have health problems.
Right. So I'm glad you said that. I like a lot of the words you're using, like, for example, healing yourself. Like, I did have help, and I believe in a higher power, and I did, I did at the time. I was not as knowledgeable, and I did do chemotherapy. And, I would say that I had to fight to really stay on the diet that I was on because I believed in it. A lot of your circle might not, including the doctor, might not agree with it at that time because it takes a toll on you. And, I did pretty well. And like up until like the third cycle, I remember, going to the store to get my fruits and juice it. And I was just feeling good because after 3 cycles, I think they had already did scans and showed most of it was gone. But like, that's when the side effects, started really kicking in. So that was the downside of it. I didn't know, I have this mentality about what it is. Like, the branding of that disease is like death. People are more afraid of that, even though they might be suffering from other things like arthritis, diabetes, and a host of other, lingering illnesses within them. So, but this one has a lot of fear associated with it. And, when I got it, I was a little nervous, but, I had some
It's all mental sometimes.
conversations in the mind, really, where I was just like, man, I'm not ready to go yet. I feel I have some time. I want to get some things done here.
It's like I know exactly what you're saying, because honestly, like this whole summer, half of it I've been depressed over like a situation, and I'm like, in my head I'm thinking, wow, like, I didn't enjoy this full summer. I mean, a lot of stuff good happened in this summer, but a lot of it's mental. You can literally have the worst day of your life because of something mental,
Right.
and that stress will turn into something acidic in your body. I always tell people, having stress in your life is as equal as eating McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that?
Yeah. No, it's mental and
See, that's how you know that
Yeah,
God, having stress in your life is as equal as eating McDonald's. A lady just stopped by and literally turned around. It's like, you right.
for real.
Do you think that too?
Yeah, it's mental, it's environmental, it's the things that we're allowing in. For example, once I started going through it, like, people would come to visit me, and I was like, no, you can't put on any politics. I was just very like protective of my mental and my environmental, in a sense. Like, I didn't want stressful things around me, and it really helped because like I had to take care of me. I know a lot of people are worried and they're concerned and they want to suggest what's best for you. But I was very, as long as you have that strength within you to make your own decisions when you're going through something like that, then it's important to demand what you need. And I was very like, this is the way I'm doing it. So, once I got assurance from, I consider the universe, the higher power, which was telling me I'll give you more time. From the beginning, I knew that I would get through it. And I just felt like, and when I say get through it, not get over it, like it was a lot of dark days and a lot of pain. And it's about, getting through and dealing with that, It's like, you're going to make it, but you have to go through these like, like all of these obstacles. You just have to deal with it. I didn't see them coming. They came. It was painful. But, looking back, it's just like, I learned a lot from it,
Yeah, bro, that's real, because honestly, like 2 years ago, I thought about this podcast, but I had to go obviously heal myself, like at least to the point that I can be outside, because, I told you a little bit about myself. People probably know for 6 summers, I could not be outside. I would be itchy. I'm not going to go through all the stuff I was going through, but just the fact I couldn't be outside for 6 summers because I would be itchy and hurting and bleeding and all that, that just tells you a lot. And like, a lot of the stuff that ended up happening is that somebody left my life, and when they left my life, a month later or 3 weeks later, I get healed out of nowhere.
Right.
And like, that's why I brought this up. Like, it's all mental sometimes. You gotta be. It's harder to say, "Oh, be happy," but it's really, you gotta just live that stress-free lifestyle. You gotta remove people, and like, I love my family, I love my friends, but I'm not around them all the time anymore because I don't want to be positive. I want to be happy. And it's like, I'll see them here and there to help them out. But like, at the end of the day, like, If somebody ain't serving your life and bringing positivity, they're gonna bring you stress. That's like somebody coming to you and opening your mouth and giving you McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
So let me also ask you this. I see, you after you got healed, you said you're making a documentary now.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Right. So, like I said, I went through a lot. Dealing with this type of illness. I mean, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about people. I had never been admitted into a hospital in my life, so seeing that whole world was like, something you don't ever want to go back to. So you get that other chance to just try to do better, and it's just really a knowledge thing out of ignorance, and not in a bad way. It's just the whole society is like kind of geared towards a certain diet that literally makes you sick, and then once you get into the hospital, the food can also make you sick. So
say that again, man. Yo, how bad is the hospital food?
Well, so the first place I went to, you only get one meal. Every single patient gets that one meal. If there was fish, it might be like the worst type of fish they could feed you. And you're happy to eat something, Across the street is like fast food, fast food, fast food. The second place where I finished the treatment was really like, had more variety, which I was happy for, but it's still poor choices, a lot of sugary things and things that I would never recommend.
What did they feed you at the hospital? So the stuff that you was eating before that gave you the C word, they were feeding you in the hospital the same food, right?
Pretty much. Like, again, if you don't know, you really have to, like, I don't know. I think, like, in my case, like I mentioned, the trainer and stuff like that, and Dr. Sebi and the people in this certain circle was eating a certain way. You might not think they're watching you, but you are planting seeds. It's very hard for certain people to give up the diet they've been taught their whole life to eat. So it takes a lot of courage to make that change. I'm proud of myself that it wasn't just getting sick that made me change my diet. Getting sick made me better at the diet, but I had already felt something within myself to make that shift. And it was not easy, but you live and you learn and you just get better at doing it. So part of that journey was like, I was doing pretty well for most of the treatment, and I was exercising regularly just to keep the blood flowing and things like that. And I had lost some weight and stuff like that. But that was a major lifesaver, I would consider. Not just the food, but your diet. A lot of people, even that are like buff and stuff, they're in the gym, they may have a poor diet. So you need like some type of guide, somebody comes into your life. Everybody's like a chain, and these are people who help you, just look at things differently, plant seeds.
Yeah, like Nipsey Hussle died, and that's how I found out about Dr. Sebi. But yo, my bad. I think we got off track.
Yeah, my fault. But
that's my fault. It's my fault.
The working out is a part of everything I'm talking about here, in the sense that, like, being in this calisthenics community, like, if you felt like you couldn't make it to the gym because you're too tired, you just get out of bed, you fall on the floor, you do 100, whatever, how many push-ups and stuff like that. You do it on the bench, you do pull-up on the scaffold. And, just the people I met in that region helped me out with a lot, with the diet and with the exercise. And I'm doing a documentary on that related to my journey and how it helped me. And, I got work to do, in the fitness department, but I'm still proud that I'm aware of it. And then I get something in, if not daily, several times during the week. So this documentary I'm doing is called The Gym Within. And right now it's a short piece, like about 10 minutes. And it features a lot of interesting talents in calisthenics. Calisthenics is really popular in New York in the 90s and the 2000s. And I think it's made another wave because of the pandemic. Everybody was online, so you couldn't go to the gym. So you would go online and find a trainer or look at people doing routines. And it became pretty popular. People getting like millions and millions of views and being known for health, which is like such a beautiful thing when you really think about what you could be known for and what your legacy is. To be promoting health to people, and especially young people, especially young Black and brown people. If we use those words, I'm just saying, like, to see them trying to do better in this world that's promoting every commercial on TV is a pharmaceutical drug, or Arby's or McDonald's or Burger King and stuff like that. To say, no, I don't want that, is a real strength. So this documentary is called The Gym Within. It features the trainer I was talking about. His name is Master Shredder. Is this very strong woman, one of the strongest women I've ever seen, Miss Naima, and Central Park Joe, Rip Wright, and also Who am I forgetting? You know, the Scott Bernard is in it. Victor Bowman is in it. These are people that I had been watching for a while who really promoted health, and people, you know, look forward to what they do. And, you know, and it really helped me a lot. You know, a lot of the best mental clarity I get sometimes just coming to the park by myself and just doing a little routine, you know, so that's something that I'm staying up on in addition to improving my diet, which is, you know, although I think I'm doing good on the diet, there's just so much more that I'm learning, you know, on a daily basis. You know, you might be using one product and you say, okay, there's something better. I don't use that anymore. And that's just the growth.
It's always a learning experience in this community. And that's a beautiful thing, man. You basically are using your pain and turning into, you know, a documentary. That's like almost what I did. I took my pain and I made a whole interview series about it. And like now you're empowering the people, bro.
Right. Pain is poetry when you overcome it, you know? When you can get over it and look back.
Say that again, bro. You're going to say that again.
Pain is poetry when you overcome it, you know? You know, I'm not even trying to sound like, oh, you know, I conquered it. But, you know, in a sense I did. You know, I give myself that, you know? I did a lot of writing. I spoke to the creator and had a lot of visions like never before. You know, and it's just put me in a better place, you know.
How important is being alone? Because that's what I struggled this summer. And you know what? Everybody kept telling me, yo, being alone is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's when you really get to connect with yourself and like build your life.
Yeah, bro.
How important is this?
To be honest, when I end up alone these days, I don't even fight it anymore. If somebody doesn't invite you or something, or you just feel left out, it's not that at all. It's like a protection. You know, when I was diagnosed, I remember hearing the voice. I call it the voice, the God voice, say to me that, you know, a lot of the people that you consider close friends aren't going to be around you, but don't take it personally. And it was true. A lot of my very closest friends, I never saw them for 4.5 months. And I still talk to them to this day. I don't take it personally because, like, it's one of those things where people just don't know what to do in those situations. They're busy in their life. And, you know, this type of illness, I think people can be very awkward with it, but I'm not. I don't mind talking about it. And I was never alone, you know, but it just made me tap into the voice more. And, you know, and my family was there. But there was a lot of days alone and just watching the sun go up and down and just, you know. But I wrote a lot and I love those moments, you know, when I look back, you know.
It's very important. I mean, for me, this summer, the one thing that I really do love is I conquered being alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful thing, but at first, when you're like always around people and living a fast lifestyle, being alone can seem scary because you're like, wow, what am I supposed to do if I don't have people around me? I'm not. You become your own entertainer. You become your own.
Yeah.
You love yourself more. You start loving yourself more. You start building. Like for me, when I was alone, I got to think of where I want to go, what I want to do, who I want to be around. I got to plan on my life. And honestly, sometimes you need to be alone because that keeps you, like you said, protected from stuff you're not supposed to be around.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to lie, this summer, you know, I wasn't drinking, but I was going to clubs, I was going to events. And honestly, I learned through all that stuff. Those people don't relate with me. I'm never going to fit in. I'm outside the matrix. And the people that I love being around is just really two type of people around this holistic health journey. The people who are like alkaline, I guess, or just some type of healthy, or people that believe in the Most High God and Christ. That's the people that I really relate to the most. And you know what? I don't go to clubs no more. I stopped doing that. I'm only going to go to alkaline events, alkaline interviews on the weekends, or I'm gonna go to a Bible study. And I know it sounds corny, but you get to meet people who are like-minded. Because, or you think you're gonna meet a woman of God in the club? Nah, probably not.
Probably not. Anything is possible, but you're right. Probably not.
Probably not.
But you know, you're in communities now where you will meet better. Yeah,
better. Exactly.
Yeah.
I will meet a woman of God in the Bible study. So that's 100% more likely, you know. So that's one of the things. Being alone, I got to figure out myself. And, you know, the world will reject you. And don't take those rejections as being sad. That just tells you where you don't belong. Yeah, the camera overheated. Sometimes in the heat, you know, it don't work, but it's all good. But you got to wait a little bit. So, yeah, he actually, during that time, he showed me his documentary. And, you know, it motivated me because I do want to make a documentary soon. I do want to start calisthenics. I've been just waiting for the summer to be over because I wanted to, you know, 6 years of no summer. I told myself I want to enjoy the summer. But nah, man, that documentary, bro, that was a nice documentary.
Thanks, man.
And not for real, bro. And I wanted to ask you about it, like, what was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part about it is that, it's not really like rating anybody up. This is who they are. Like, if you know who some of these people are online, it's because of what they're promoting, which is like health and fitness. And they're all come from different backgrounds, but as they explain the benefits, is like it brings it all together. It's all relatable, You're dealing with people from different backgrounds. They speak different, they look different, they have different results, but you could learn something from each and every one. During the I finished my treatment in like the beginning of 2020, and then there was like a lockdown and stuff like that. And we were talking about being alone, but that was such a beautiful time because it was like people were barely out and stuff like that. But the people who were dedicated were out in the parks and stuff like that, or watching stuff online. The channel That's Good Money had a lot of different people doing workouts and stuff like that. So it's like you had a lot of access to information and really getting to know yourself better, So that was a good time for me. And, so to answer your question about like the best part, I was really just blown away about just the idea that, you have people that are in their 20s and 30s who are just serious about their health. They're not waiting to get sick. There's no time for that, You're just trying to be at like peak performance into your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, And that's just a beautiful message, I think, to send out to people in this age group. And even the older people who never, it's not even about age. It's really like if you've never been taught, you've never been taught. So, you learn eventually. And, it's never too late to just start trying to do better for your health,
Honestly, bro, we should work something like that. We should do a documentary to each other, bro.
All right, yeah.
I don't know if be down for that because I don't have the skill. Like, even though I do interviews, I don't have no camera skills, editing. I do, but I don't. Like, I'm not the best at it, but we should do like an Alkaline documentary.
Well, that's what I would say. This podcast, I've never heard anything called an Alkaline podcast. So that's a beautiful thing because most people know about veganism, but they don't know
Alkaline,
which is like the next level, like Super Saiyan.
It's community.
Yeah.
Everybody knows each other, honestly.
And even in Brooklyn, there may not be that many Alkaline restaurants, like pure, like ingredients, season, and everything. I know of Food for Negus, and maybe there's a few others, but and you could request what you need, like from different spots. That's how you get around it. But so what you're doing is like very unique. I would say it's not just a niche. You are the niche in a sense, in the sense that like there's, I discovered you, and I'm working on becoming more alkaline in my, so I'm learning a lot from this podcast as well. So
I appreciate that. I mean, honestly, the podcast just came out of me going through my pain of eczema, not wanting nobody else to suffer.
Yeah.
And I remember, like I said, I had a hip hop and weed podcast. It's called Rap Mad Loud. You can still look at the Instagram, see my old stuff. But I came from doing that, and when I got sick, I was told myself, one day when I get healed, I want to start this new podcast.
Right.
And I didn't know what it was going to be called. I didn't know who I was going to start with. But the way it all happened naturally, the way it's all so fast growing, I know it's not even me doing it. It's God. I feel at this moment, in the next couple of years, people watching this interview, Alkaline is going to blow up. It's going to be a lot of mainstream. But at the same time, it's going to be good at its mainstream. But it's going to be a lot of fakes out there. A lot of people you got to watch out for. And it was one of those things that I just feel God picked me because he just seen that I was honest and real and the best to do this. But like what you're doing is amazing too. That those documentaries, the fact that you healed yourself from the C word, bro. Like a lot of people struggle with that, and they may see this interview and get motivated to become alkaline because a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to try it," but they don't do anything until they have a life or death circumstance. That's kind of like, well, I mean, that happened to me, so I'm not saying it's bad, but but I don't want people to get to that point.
Yeah, I feel like however you get to it is how you get to it,
Yeah.
And I think that people have become more health conscious. I don't know if it's because of like the pandemic or whatever, but it's a good thing, like it really taught me, like it made me more into nature and stuff like that. I always had that in my spirit, but just like, going to a place like Grenada and be able to pick fruits from a tree and eat it like that, like I've never, like that shit makes me like, should make me feel like I'm doing something good. It makes me feel.
Nah, that's wavy, bro. That's wavy. Nah, that's the way to go. Yeah, this journey ain't easy. It's for me. It took me years to get fully alkaline. It took me took me a while. It's just so hard. It's the addictions that we have, and it's like we don't even realize until it's too late.
Right.
And you healed yourself, bro. That's an amazing thing. A lot of people can't say they did. And what did your family, what did your friends, what did the doctor say when you didn't have it no more?
Well, I mean, I guess like I said, the branding of the disease is so terrible that when you do get through it, it is a victory in a sense, Not so much to like sell the wonders of research and treatment alone. It's more so that you can rebuild yourself. It's not just about getting older and being sick and getting over sickness. It's about like you want to look better, you want to feel better, you never want to be sick again. And I think just that mindset and the knowledge of what you get from that is like invaluable, because all the knowledge we need is in many cases out there. People are saying on YouTube how to work out, what to eat, but you really have to process it in a way that works for you, and then do it from a place that's genuine enough where it's like a part of your lifestyle. And I think that's a process that, is the direction you want to go into, so.
Yeah, man, because like a lot of people get tricked, and it's like I remember people would be like, "Oh man, this is vegan. It has soy in it, this and that." And I'm like, "Soy? I don't eat soy." But people get tricked, and it's like you said, vegan ain't healthy, and they get tricked, bro. A lot of people get like I was tricked before. I didn't know what it was, like the oils, the bad oils that we use, like the soy products.
Yeah,
soy produces the C word, believe it or not, and we get tricked. That's why even I tell people, just don't go vegan. I mean, it's a better step than meat, I will admit, but like, you really want to fine tune it. If you're already eating vegan, why not go like the best way?
Right. So for example, like when I'm traveling, it's very hard to find like the food you want. Like, so I took a suitcase with me recently with like all my stuff in there. I like made the wild rice, I put it in a Ziploc bag. I brought some mushrooms and I was cooking over there. Because like when you're on the road or something, I do music and stuff, there's a lot of like fast food places, and then they might have a vegan option that is processed. And, I have had to indulge sometimes if I didn't have the stuff with me. But for the most part, I've just been learning to prepare in advance so that I don't have to deal with that as much.
That is the biggest part of my diet that I have to, because like there was a part that when I got healed, I had to tell myself I had to prepare, because if you don't prepare, you don't buy the stuff, you're gonna might cheat because you're just so hungry.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
And me preparing is the biggest part, buying the foods when it's there.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you might just go out and eat a burger. Not that I used to eat meat, but oh, sorry right there. But I remember I would cheat because I would be like late at night. I'm like, damn, I didn't buy no groceries today. I should have just, and then I would go out and eat a burrito. Even though I didn't have meat, obviously the cereal.
No, I hear you.
Rice, whatever.
It's food is expensive too these days.
That is.
It's like, so we're all just trying to do the best, I guess, what we can.
I mean, I don't even eat breakfast, honestly. Like, I haven't ate breakfast in like a really long time. If I eat, it's usually after 12,
Okay.
I do like a little, I don't consider that a fast, but I just don't eat breakfast. You don't need it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had my days of like stacks of pancakes and like sausage, bacon, all that stuff. So I don't have those types of breakfasts anymore. Most times I'll have like herbal tea in the morning and some fruits. But you're right, like sometimes I might not have a breakfast. I might go into lunch, and then, some.
Let me ask you this. What was like the top things that helped you get the C word removed from your body?
Well, I can't answer that. I would just say mentally, I did go through that treatment process, but I did stick with my diet for the best way I could, for as long as I could. There were moments where I lost a lot of weight and I couldn't really move and do things for myself as I wanted to. But I think just having the mindset to try to pick the best poison and like just stay mindful that I wanted to be here and that there's things that I needed to do, and that, I was in touch with hearing the voice and just trying to do better is what really kept me going, So I feel just like fortunate that I got another chance, so.
Because you said that doctors said that it's, you basically before when we was talking, you said that the doctors thought it was weird that you were going vegan or alkaline.
Yeah, like they know it's a process that's eventually going to take a lot out of you, as far as like your weight and stuff. So they just want you to eat, and they don't care what, because like at a certain point, you're going to feel the effects and the side effects of that. So, you have to make that decision. Like, you're listening to the doctor, he's the doctor, and he's telling you this and that. But you could say, nah, doc, I think I want to still try a little bit of this. And, that's your decision. It's your life. So that's what it is. That's what I would encourage anybody is to really try to think for yourself as much. You're taking advice from maybe a doctor and from other holistic teachers, but ultimately you're making a decision. Nobody's forcing you to eat the things that you don't think are good for you,
I used to always, back then I hated 3 people in my life: doctors, police people, and teachers, just because, and I don't hate them no more, but it's just that how smart are you that you can go through 12 years of college, but not realize that, when hundreds of years ago there was no diseases. Now there's diseases. What's affecting us? What do we put on our bodies every day? That's probably what it is. But I guess they're smart, but they're in delusion.
Right. One of the things like you asked me about how did it feel and how did people respond after I got better. And it's a good feeling. People almost cheering you on and like you won the Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
And then, but I can't control the conversation. I'm happy to get that type of love, but I feel that not enough of the conversation is about the causes of these illnesses. The environment, a lot of stuff going on in the environment, a lot of chemical spray on the food, a lot of chemical spray in the sky. I wouldn't say nobody, but it's not talked about enough. I'll just tell you a quick story. I love to tell this story because one day I was sitting on the train and this lady was sitting next to me. She looked like some gothic punk rocker and she just had this beautiful speaking voice. And I really just engaged conversation with strangers like that. But I said, Miss, man, you have such a nice voice. What do you do? Are you a singer or something? I'm into music. She was like, no, I read the side effects on the drug commercials on TV.
No way.
Yeah, that's an actual job. And she had that voice where, so you notice when I'm watching these pharmaceutical commercials on TV, like the side effects start happening and it's done at a frequency where whoever I'm sitting next to just zones out. I'm like, no, watch. And the side effects these days are death and the same illness, the exact same illness I had. They're actually announcing that you can get that as a result of taking this drug for your skin disorder, your stomach disorder. So that's like the give and take is like something worse.
I never got that either.
Yeah, so no, it's like, it's attempted murder in my opinion, and I just want to say that because I think it's important to talk about why so many people are getting sick after this pandemic and after, all of the stuff that happened as a result. Most of these illnesses went up by like hundreds and thousands of %. In young people too. People used to say, you're young, how could you get that? And now it's like people much younger than me, people of all ages. There's like a whole hospital of kids.
That's that. My sister had a tumor last year. It made me cry, honestly.
Right.
And they had to remove it. And thank God she got the surgery was successful because it made me cry. It made me mad at the whole experience, even though tumors turn into the C word.
Yeah.
But, bro, she had a big, right here. And they removed it. And when I go to the hospital, they're giving her garbage food. And I'm like, wow, it got me so mad. It just made me hate the whole medical system even more. Just seeing how they trick us and how does a 11-year-old have that?
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Everybody's like, yo, that's so weird. And I know why. I seen her die. I was around her, and it sucks that happened to a young girl, and then that's gonna shock her. But maybe that's gonna make her realize. Because after that, I was telling her about Alkaline, this, that.
Yeah.
Even though right now she's probably not, listening. One day she's gonna remember, like, oh, my brother was telling me about Alkaline and eating fruits and vegetables, and hopefully that makes her,
Yeah, it's a tough decision for people to make that switch. I think my eating habits probably inspired some people around me, I guess, to get more into mushrooms or look for alternatives aside from steaks and chicken and stuff like that you could do with other alkaline foods or vegan foods. And so that's what I would say. Another thing is water. I drank much more water than I ever did in my life.
What type of water? Which one?
Well, spring water, and I also got this Kangen water machine. Somebody had recommended it, so it's something that they were using in Japanese hospitals that makes the water alkaline.
Yeah, that one,
so there's different.
I don't hate on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know too much, but a lot of people in the community don't like that.
No, I understand.
And I don't have no indifference. I don't like it. I don't even know if it's good or bad. I got to test them out for myself. But I heard about that water a lot.
Right. I've heard about it too. The positives and negatives. So I'm not, like I said, I'm learning. So if I found somebody, if I started to see that wasn't the way I would easily replace it. But still, just the idea of drinking more water is something. As a kid, you feel invincible. It was like a lot of sugary drinks, soda, stuff like that, And I had eliminated a lot of that in by 2017. But still, I think that it was important to drink water. And so that's what I would say is it's just that I would love. It's nice that the conversation is about, yes, you beat it, but I would love the conversation to become more about, how can we prevent it? Like, if you look at the ingredients on the back of the box in the U.S. compared to like the U.K., it's like maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 more chemicals in the U.S. version. These are things that we need to demand to stop right now as these people are pretending to run for president. These are things we need to like say, like, why is this happening? We need to stop this. People are getting sick. So it's too much about like, let's get these people treated, let's get them to the hospital, as opposed to like, let's remove a lot of the things that we know are no good for people from their diet.
I seen that because I remember I seen a picture of an Applejack box from 1994.
Yeah.
And they actually had dried apples. And then, they had like the sugar or whatever, but it's way less ingredients. And then you see a one from 2024.
Mm-hmm.
It was like way more ingredients. And it's like, yo, that's the stuff. And I think that's why this mind you, people still got fat, still got some type of like health problems, but that's why people are getting way more, because that's all they're eating. The ingredients list is the stuff you can't even pronounce. And I tell people all the time, why would you eat something you don't even know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that word?
Right.
What is that word?
It's like very
it'd be the weirdest words you can't even pronounce.
It's very like sci-fi movie. There's a movie called Soil and Green. It's about that, where, people were eventually eating other people who had passed on, like, and
they're trying to do that in real life, low key.
It's true. So
much to go into, but
yeah. No, I hear you. No, these aren't even conspiracies anymore, man. We are just living in the midst of this.
I tell
like
people
it's clear matrix now, and you just have to, a lot of times we just don't know. So, when you get that knowledge, hopefully you try. And I'm working on it. I don't want to ever sound like an expert on the C word or even on the alkalinity, but I just think that I'm proud of myself that I'm trying.
Well, you're a testimony, bro, to a lot of people. People are going to see this interview.
Mm-hmm.
They might be like, wow, you know what? If you got healed, let me see what this whole thing is about. And I tell everybody that I meet, I interviewed people. Actually, I would say, I wouldn't be a lie because I knew people,
mm-hmm.
but now I could actually say I interviewed somebody that healed from the C word.
Mm-hmm.
And people see this interview, they might look at it and be like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try.
Right.
And you're going to motivate a lot of people. Who knows? After this interview, bro, you're going to get hit up by a bunch of people dealing with the same thing. That happened to me when I did the Victor interview when I talked about my eczema. Mad people was like hitting me up. Like, I just got hit up this morning.
Yeah.
Like, literally all the time. So, bro, you're going to be an inspiration to these people, bro. You're going to be a light of hope. And I want you to know, bro, I'm proud of you, bro. I love what you do. The documentary. Your soul is amazing, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I one day, hopefully, if it's in God's will, I would love to work with something with you. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah. No, likewise, man. It's important for us to tell our stories. You're telling your story, but through a lot of other people too. This is a whole community of people going through different things, and when they share, like, I'm not an expert, but sharing my experience, I think hopefully it will resonate with somebody. Because a lot of we all know somebody who's going through this. It could be a grandmother, it could be somebody we lost, it could be a friend, it could be a friend of a friend. And, we want to try to remove this word from the conversation completely. And it's not impossible, but, even what like somebody like Victor is doing, Victor Bowman, is like just promoting that, the herbs and stuff, the natural stuff that is sitting around us in the park that we don't know about, So I think it's a beautiful thing, just the more we know.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for having me.
No, bro, I was an honor, bro. Like when I heard your story and you telling me, I'm like, wow, this be a great person to interview, because I feel, even though like some people always say, oh, you always pick the best people who got the best products, this, that. That's cool, no, but now we got somebody who use those products, and even though you may not have, I guess, what you would say like a alkaline like company or whatever.
Right.
Your testimony itself will get people into becoming alkaline.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get people into doing what they're doing, bro. And like, yo, man, you motivate, bro. Today, just talking to you, seeing everything that you're doing with the podcast, the documentary, the calisthenics. Honestly, I'm gonna start soon. The calisthenics and there's a documentary on the way about a lot.
All right, yeah.
No, let's just get this played out the way. Okay. I wanted to ask you the last question. What is the best advice you can give anybody dealing with health problems in general?
I think that the best advice I could give people is that, like for me, I started feeling pain, which alerted me to how serious the issue was. And your body is talking to you. So I would say, start just like listening to that voice in your head and also what your body is telling you. I think a lot of times under the fear of this illness, especially if you've never gone through any type of major illness, you want to move quickly. And in doing so, sometimes you end up rushing into something. And I think that my advice would be is if you can't do it yourself, if you have some people, maybe your partner or your good friends to help you start doing some type of research and looking for alternatives. There's never one way to the top, And on top of that, you make the decision of how you want to go through this journey, which in my case, I decided I am being treated, but I am also going to try my best to continue exercising and continuing the diet the way I think is best for me. So just making that mental decision is like very empowering for me because like you just have to tell people around you who you care for, no, this is what I want to do. And you're not being like an asshole. You're just saying this is my life and this is how I want to go about doing it. And you learn from that, whether you're right or wrong, you learn. And I just think that you just have to take ownership of that. You don't have to be so afraid. In that little bit of time, you're just trying to make some different decisions. There's not only one way. So that's my advice.
That's a good advice because a lot of people just listen to the same things over and over, and there's no results in that. So I do appreciate that. Definitely, if you listen to your body, if you feel something's off, try to fix your diet. I think that's pretty much like 80% of the problems in this world that we deal with. And thank you for coming on, my
Thank you, brother. Super.
Appreciate you, my brother. This interview is gonna be a big one. I feel people are gonna see this, start listening to their body, start dwelling into the alkaline.
And this, of course, as much as you can.
Oh yeah, coconut is honestly that's the healthiest. I think that's actually one of my favorite fruits in the world. Just man. Yo, I appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate
God bless you.
Yeah.
We on the healthiest podcast in the world, the first ever alkaline podcast in the world. And my name is Sebi, and we out.
Tune in.